In the previous video, I promised to talk about Canadian justice system. Canadian justice system is the worst justice system which I have ever seen. It has so many problems which I cannot explain them in one or two videos. So I divided them in several categories which I studied as follows. Justice Canada or common law system. Judges appointment. Judicial Council. Supreme Court of Canada. Court of Appeal for Ontario. Superior Court of Ontario. Justice of Peace and quasi-judicial or regulatory bodies. I received some comments. Some people compare government of Canada with other countries. I am not agree because rules of law, human rights, and charter rights are absolute. And we cannot compare and justify wrongdoing of one government because another government violates rights of people. Also, there is not any basis for comparison between the different governments. The way each government treats the people depends on many factors like behavior of people, stability of government, and so on. But Canada violates human rights of its own citizens only because of their origin. Canada is the only country, or among a few countries, who made inequality, violation of constitutional and human rights of Canadians legal by Supreme Court. I believe that Mr. Trudeau is a good person, but it is not enough for governing a country. He puts lots of efforts to defend human rights of people around the world, which is good. But he neglects human rights of Canadians. He and his government don't challenge justice system and or regulatory bodies for rights of Canadians. His cabinet minister wrote to me that justice system in Canada is independent, but didn't answer my question that why you go after justice system of other countries, which at least on paper, all of them are independent. Also, some people believe that we need regulatory bodies to regulate professions. I agree. But we must have regulatory bodies who follow the law. In Ontario, they must follow Canadian law and legislations passed by Parliament of Ontario, such as the Ontario Human Rights Code passed by Parliament in 1990 and later provisions, which states every person has a right to equal treatment with respect to membership in any trade union, trade or occupational association, or self-governing profession without discrimination. And also, where a provision in an act or regulation purports to require or authorize conduct that is a contravention of Part 1, this act applies and prevails. And another act, Fair Access to Regulated Profession Act, passed by Parliament in 2006, which states the purpose of this act is to help ensure that regulated professions and individuals applying for registration by regulated professions are governed by registration practices that are transparent, objective, impartial, and fair. And in another section, a regulated profession has a duty to provide registration practices that are transparent, objective, impartial, and fair. But these regulatory bodies act like occupying forces because they think they have full authority with tens of $1 million tax-free income without any responsibility. They don't have duty of care. They even don't report HST they received whenever they want. And they think they are immune from any action. Unfortunately, they have full support of justice system, especially unconditional support of Supreme Court of Canada. It is important to note that they have immunity, if they have immunity from any action, they have no duty of care and their immunity clause is prior to law and legislation. Why Parliament wastes its time and resources to pass legislation? When I complain against the system, everybody in the justice system has a unique template which says we don't provide legal advice and you have the right to get 30 minutes free consultation from Law Society. But when I write them that it is a complaint and I already consulted with more than 10 lawyers and all of them confirm that my demands are legal, they don't answer. Legal assistant of Chief Justice who sent me the same template even didn't understand the difference between motion under Rule 37 of Rules of Civil Procedure and summary motion under Rule 20. For all allegations in this series, I have strong evidences. The only dispute is that some people believe that when a judge decides, we must accept. I am not agree. We have to accept it if and only if judge follow the law, even with unintentional mistake. But if a judge or even judges of Supreme Court don't follow the law and make judgment in their own interest, their move is not acceptable. If they don't respect the law, nobody has to respect it. And Supreme Court is responsible for this ownership.